And if all goes well, we're now live on the internet,
Whoa,
broadcasting out for anyone to see. Actually, we got a little something special today. We took a picture.
Can I put the tap of water now? Can I add or?
Yes, you may.
Tap of water is okay.
Tap water is more than okay. Thank you. Welcome everybody to the Pacific Coast live cast. I don't know.
Oh, you got a cool roadster up there too.
And this is the live cast where Naoko offers anyone tap water or filtered water for their tea. Apparently, as you can tell by my tastes, tap water is more than okay for your tea. And I find the tap water in Yokohama to be delicious, although not everyone agrees with me. How do you find the tap water in Yokohama?
Good. I never had a problem. I don't think so. Jury's still out.
Oh yeah, you know what? We were supposed to do a special intro on this and we forgot.
Oh.
Not we forgot, I forgot.
Next time.
Oh, that is a shame. Okay everyone, so it's a Q&A cast. You guys know the deal. You guys can ask me questions about buying your cars from Japan and how cool it is to have an NA Roadster. Mike is to my
Super
side
cool.
here. Mike is 29 years old. Hails from New Zealand, where everybody is really nice. Isn't that right, Mike?
Yes.
I've never met somebody from New Zealand that I didn't like.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me change that.
Hey
I'm
Gabe,
just
long time no
wondering,
see.
Are you gonna mention anything about the hat? Is there a haircut underneath there? Because
There-
that'd be super funny if you're just like, "Whoa, it's a boy."
No, I'm trying to keep people guessing, and there is no haircut underneath. There's just hair that is too long and it's getting in my face, and I don't like it, so I wear a hat. And I got this hat given to me from a customer. You can see, y'all be done with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Well, we also have Chicago Cubs. You can probably guess which city that this customer's from. And we have
Oh yeah.
BMW. How do we do this? BMW driving experience. Shout out to Zahid, the engineer at BMW, for giving that to me. He also gave me some more hats, but everyone stole the best ones. Mike, you probably got the best one. My wife got the second best one.
But you got the one that you can't get unless you go to the event.
Yep.
So yours is the
But I think the event was
rarest.
open to journalists. So it's not like only BMW staff are able to get it, which is really what I wanted. I wanted some sort of a I think I told you about this before, but like when you go to an official event with BMW, like if you're a driver or something, you get a special suit. But also if
Yeah.
you're the staff that work at the event, you get a special suit for that too. That you get only for that day. And they're officially licensed of that event, special wear, like a nice button-up shirt that says BMW, and it's usually made by whatever sponsor sponsors their team. In this case, it was Puma,
Yeah.
and that's what I wanted. But unfortunately, it came and it was exclusive, but it wasn't that exclusive. That's what I'm looking for.
The exclusivity.
Yeah, if anyone has a BMW racing suit, no matter how smelly and disgusting it is, I want it for free. And so I posted this one here, a Mazda Roadster, just as our introductory car. I didn't even really look at it. I just went through the list of Mazdas, Mazda Roadsters, and then picked out one that I thought looked pretty cool. And so we can see here it's got a front bumper, aftermarket front bumper, side skirts, rear bumper, wheels, suspension, roll bar inside. Also comes with a beige leather and Nardi steering wheel. Automatic transmission. Mike, is that okay?
Yep. Swap it to a 6-speed.
I got a plugged nose today. It's very annoying. Hopefully, like the steam from the tea will come and unplug my nose. I'll just sit here like this the whole time. So if you get one of these with an automatic transmission, you can probably get a really good condition. A lot of these Roadsters are commonly used as race cars here in Japan because they make a fantastic race car platform, and a lot of the tracks in Japan are really tight and twisty, which is kind of perfect for your rear-wheel drive small car Miata. This one here is a 1.8 liter engine, and yeah, going to be in better condition if it's automatic because people don't usually take their automatics to a racetrack. It's been repainted on both sides, but otherwise it's pretty good. It has a black hardtop, so it looked pretty stunning with the black body and the black hardtop. And the automatic one, you know, probably could be a nice car for somebody that's not looking for like a race car. It is a little bit of a weird mix-up. Nowadays, these are considered more of a race car than they are the hairdresser's car or the girl's car. With an automatic transmission, it goes towards the category of girl's car or hairdresser's car.
But it looks so good.
Yeah, and I think these are looking better too. Don't you agree? Like as time goes by, their cars don't look like this anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's a good look. I think the best looking Miata is probably the ND, the current one. It just is a stunning looking car.
I agree.
And then this one here gets second place. And then after that, what do you think? Of the B and the C, which one is a better looking car?
I'm going to bring up a picture of the C. Because I've seen some of them driving around, they don't look so bad, especially when they're modified.
I'm going to bring it up here and see what the people in the chat want to say about it. Where's a good pic? Here's a picture of the NC and the NB with the NA in the background here. So the B is this one here, and the C is this one here. C's came with an optional hard top, like a retractable hard top, but weighed more. But these are the two Miatas people generally don't like that much. They're still good cars, but you know, cars get bigger, cars get heavier. Oddly, the NA and the NB are running on the same chassis and use a lot of similar parts between the two of them. You see, like the windshield surround is the same here. Also, engines are the same, whereas with the NC they changed around. I think that the intake and the exhaust swap sides so that the engine series isn't even compatible with the earlier generations.
Oh.
But I would say that generally speaking at the moment people are thinking the NB is better than the NC.
Yeah, stock to stock I like the NB, but I feel like I saw a really good looking NC. I just can't remember.
Nismo Fune says NB for sure.
I think make it look like a little Dodge Viper.
Gabe says, I remember one time your auction pick videos, but why were Kias and Hyundai not in Japan anymore? Mike, do you know why Kia and Hyundai is not in Japan?
I don't know if they were in Japan ever, as opposed to anymore, but yeah, not very popular Korean vehicles with the Japanese.
I think I've seen like 2 or 3 in Japan. I don't know if they were imported or if they were actually sold here from dealers.
Yeah.
I believe that Hyundai was here officially for a very short amount of time in the 90s, but I don't know if that's true or not. Why do you think great Korean cars never ended up here in Japan?
I think people's opinions of Korean cars probably weren't the best compared to Japanese cars, like Japanese people's opinions. And I don't know, maybe rivalry?
Yep. Maybe because like Korea's kind of always been seen as second fiddle to Japan.
Yeah.
And a lot of Japanese don't want them to come up to their level.
Right.
You know, Japan got first world country before Korea did. I don't know if that's appropriate to say, but you know how it is. Japan became a economic powerhouse, and now we're seeing Korea follow in their footsteps only slightly after Japan. There may be some tensions because of that. Also, typical Japanese people tend to be a little bit like, about Korea. There's a lot of like political things, like arguing over islands. There was a wars in the past.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I gotta go to the lot fairly soon.
Mike, we should ban everybody from doing any pickups or deliveries during this time. It's odd. It seems like this is the most popular time for people to do pickups and deliveries. It's like 5 weeks in a row that you've been gone, and I've been all by my lonesome here. Today is even worse. I'm sick. Mike,
no!
Look at me. Tell Nishida to drop them off himself and leave the keys in the car for thieves to come get them.
That's okay. It should be it should be quick, and then I'll be straight back. Maybe I shall motor.
Flavian says the NC is the slowest and heaviest in stock form. Is that true? Because it got a 2-liter with VTEC. Well, variable valve timing. in the NC, whereas the biggest engine that you can get in the NB was the 1.8. I'd be kind of surprised if they were the slowest. All right, so let's head back to this guy here, the NA. So cool, so small, so fun. This one here is 1994. That makes it a later model. You get the 1800cc. 1600cc is a nice engine. It actually revs higher than the 1800, but the 1800 puts out more power. So in this one you get 130 horsepower, and in the 1.6 it was 110-ish, somewhere around there. This is a V Special, so the V Special comes with different interior. You probably already saw the steering wheel is wooden, and it's made by Nardi, and the shift lever is made by Nardi, and also a shift knob too, but that's only in the manual transmission ones, it looks like. You also get different chrome rings around these gauges, and maybe a couple of other things here and there. I know also color options too were different for the V Special and the S Special. And it adds about, it looks like 10 or 15% to the value to be a V Special or an S Special. They're limited edition, but they're not that limited.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Pete, NA is better than NB, which is better than ND, which is better than a bicycle, which is better than the NC. And that's right, Flavian. There was only the 1.5 available in the ND at launch, and I agree. I'm same as you. I don't know if there's a different engine in there now. Okay, so condition here, we got a windshield rock chip, interior scratched and wear. Exterior has like uneven paint. That means like the color is maybe a little bit off. Aftermarket exhaust and suspension. Bye, Mike.
See you.
Underside has been painted and the wheels have corrosion. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Pretty good shape. And these hard tops, they'll run you about $800 or so depending on the condition. They can be more than that. And so it's nice to have that on there too. Yeah, for the right person who wants an auto, this would be a good one. Anyways, yeah, let's go way back in the chat here and see who's here. As usual, at the beginning we got Hunts by Chainsaw and Bill Courtney coming in. How you guys doing every week? Every week, it's nice to see you. Bill Courtney says there's an 8.6 at auction. I'll just pull that up, but I'm gonna continue through the chat here in just a sec. So 70063. Can't find it because I'm looking for Mazdas. Okay, and I'll come back to this real soon here. Bending Rodriguez says, anyone else a virgin? I don't think that anybody answered that, actually. We got Northwest Royalty. Hello from Seattle. Hey, Northwest Royalty. Are you new? I don't recognize the name. Ismo Funes. Gabe, I already said hello to you. You don't get 2 hellos. I'm sorry. Actually, you do. Hello again. Yeah, there's still a price tag on the hat. That's because this is the new style that I'm trying to incorporate. You know how people leave the stickers on their hats? Yeah, price tag on the hat. Quick question here from Bender. He says, is it possible to get an Acura in Japan? Although Acura was never actually sold here as a brand, some people re-imported their cars here, and it's somewhat common for Japanese people to put a Acura badge on the Nissan version of the car. For example, like the Nissan Primera became the G20. Some people might put the Acura badge onto it. Kingston. Hey Derek, I inquired earlier this week on buying and shipping 4 cars to Halifax. I was under the impression A deal could be made with service fees that contain a shipment was cheaper, but only with 4 cars. Help, and then the X with the D. Generally speaking, we don't really move our service fees on just 4 cars. We'll do that for somebody that is like a dealer that we're expecting to do more cars per year. If we're doing like probably over 5 cars a year, and that's our expectation, then that's the line that we start giving discounts for. Generally speaking, on brand new, like on customers who have only bought 1 car, or if you have a history of buying a few cars for yourself, we don't get very much savings in the amount of time that it takes per sale compared to a dealer who's going to be buying semi-frequently and maybe more of an expert. It really comes down to how long it takes to make the purchase, and then if you're buying 4 cars, either for yourself or for like maybe you got together 4 of your friends and you're all coming together to buy a car, and this doesn't actually save us any time because we still have to jump through the same processes as a first-time customer. Make sure that you know what you're doing, make sure all the people that are buying with you know what they're doing, and so on. Also, our service fee of 100,000 yen is actually quite a bit cheaper than most of the service fees out there, even though it doesn't really look that way because we don't sneak around and do funny business with our service fee. We don't post a lower service fee and then have sneaky ways to get profits. And I think I've already explained that kind of well enough in these live chats before, how that works. Very, very easy when if you go to a grocery store and you go to buy apples, the apples are roughly going to be the same price at all of the grocery stores because there's no way to slide in some hidden fees into apples. It's not like you take an apple and you go to the cashier and they're like, this apple is 50 cents, but I'm going to charge you another 50 cents, i.e. doubling the price for you to have a bag. Maybe that's not a very good example, but that's the kind of thing, that's how it works. We make enough money to stay in business, and we are not super rich because we're not going to steal from you, and it means we get fewer customers than the other companies, but that's something that I'm not able to change. I'm not going to sneak around so that I can become rich, so that I can be like everybody else. It's just, I would rather not even be in business in the first place. Thank you, Kingston, for saying sorry I'm sick. I've been sick off and on for the last 7 days or so, but it's fine. It'll go away. I got kids that are in a preschool. One in the beginning of elementary school and one in preschool, and so if you're a parent of kids, you get sick pretty frequently. The chat's a little bit glitchy. Sometimes it jumps around. Let's see what else we got here. Adrian Perez wonders if I live in California. I wonder if that's because of the cool surfer hair I got sticking out of the hat. Definitely not because of the Chicago Bulls hat that I'm wearing. No, we're in Japan. And if you're new, maybe that's difficult to understand. But not understand. Maybe it's something that new people don't realize. It's strange because we've been doing this for so long that I just kind of accidentally assume that everybody knows everything about how the industry works, and so I sound like I repeat myself some of the time, but there are always new people that need to know the basics of it. Northwest Royalty wants to know if there are 240 SXs in Japan. They're actually called something else. They're called a Sylvia here in Japan, and there should be plenty of them. Tom Reader wants to know if the Hi-Ace comes in double cab with a pickup bed. Not officially, unless it's a fire truck. So, oh no, that's not true. So the Hi-Ace, let me just pull one up here. And it's a little bit confusing because there are different versions of the Hi-Ace. There's the Hi-Ace wagon, the Hi-Ace van, and the Hi-Ace truck. And yes, there are double cab Hi-Ace trucks. But apparently there are none. Toyota Hi-Ace. Hi-Ace vans? None. I don't know what's going on here. Let's just refresh here. And 2 of the 3 are the double cab. So we'll just pull this one up. And these are very much more industrial vehicles than a pickup truck will be. They're definitely not comfortable, and they're made for work. This thing of like your work truck being comfortable is kind of a new invention. Typically, a work truck is more for the work and less for the comfort, until pickup trucks became $100,000 prize pieces to be driven around with their leather seats and their 8 TV screens inside. There's really no crossover between this type of vehicle and something you would drive every day. And so for some people, and we've been selling quite a few of the fire trucks of these, it can be a very quirky, kind of inconvenient vehicle to drive in the States, but the style can make up for that. These can be lifted. You can put 4x4 tires on them. This one's 2-wheel drive, but they come in 4-wheel drive mostly. And it's pretty rare to get a dual cab truck bed with a small diesel engine and manual transmission. And so that can be a plus for a lot of people. They're really slow and they're not really geared very well to the roads in America, but they are very interesting. Especially the fire truck ones can be a good deal. You can import them for $10,000 US and have the 5-speed 4-wheel drive, and they typically only have like 6,000 to 10,000 kilometers on them. And so for that price, that amount of reliability and coolness can be very attractive to some people. This one's a 1.8 liter gasoline engine with a 5-speed. Has some bad rust on the roof, big damage on the sides. It looks like your typical well-used truck. Corrosion holes in the cabin floor. Lovely. And white smoke from the exhaust, and the AC doesn't work. A real worker's truck. Adrian TRD says, when do 2nd gen Aristo become available for US import? They were made from 1996. That's the JZS161 Toyota Aristo. 1996. And when did they stop? 2002, 2003, sometime around there. So these ones still use the 2J twin turbo engine. The American version of these came with only the 2J without a turbo, or the 1UZ V8 4-liter. Both of them very good engines, but I think there's no denying the fact that the 2J with the 2 turbos in it is a very special engine, and you get to drive around in what is essentially an automatic transmission version of the Supra with 4 doors. So there are some similarities, some differences, but it's definitely a good marketing for people that want to sell these. That's as close as you get to a Supra. Has the same version of the engine with some slight differences, slightly lower power, not noticeably so. And then looks great. It's a very good looking car considering the age of it. This wooden steering wheel is stock, leather seats, although they don't all come with leather. This one comes with a infotainment unit, which is something that you don't want to get. That was an option, and it's best not to get that because the AC controls are in that, as well as other things. So these TVs are CRT TVs. Although it's a touchscreen, it tends to die pretty quickly, and it looks very dated because the touchscreen is very much 1995 technology. Looks like the back is lowered too much. Could be broken suspension. Have a quick look at the sheet here. This one's an auxiliary 4 with an interior B, 89,790 kilometers. Comes with the original Navi and toll collection box, black leather seats, HID headlights, aftermarket 20-inch wheels, rear spoiler. That's the original one. Adjustable suspension, combination steering wheel, cruise control. This is a late model version, so made in 2001. That might be the final year, come to think of it. Timing belt has been replaced, battery is dead, seat wear, wheels scratched, door mirror scratched, windshield rock chip, interior dirty, scratched, and ripped. Underside, various scratches, dents, and surface rust. And then it says the key is like this one. It's I think it says that like my interpretation of it is that the key has come separated from the fob piece if it's broken. And then the body looks to be pretty good, but the front bumper is cracked with large scratches on it. So needs a little bit of work, like most cars that are bought from the auction, but it's still going to be a pretty decent car once you import it and fix some things up. I think these wheels look really good on it. I would assume going into this one that the suspension either needs to be replaced or at the very least adjusted, but I don't see why anyone in their right mind would lower the back this far, but then not lower the front to match. Like if you tried to lower the front this much, you'd get rubbing in the front for sure. So maybe that's why they did it, but it looks really stupid, just boost that back end up. So possible that the coilovers need to be replaced. And to get a set of used coilovers and have them installed, you might pay about $800 for that. And if you want to get some new ones, you'll pay quite a bit more than that if you want. Northwest Royalty says, been here since 2,000 subs. Wow. How long ago did I have 2,000 subscribers? That must have been like 2012. Because we started the channel in 2011, but we really didn't get any subs in the first year at all. In fact, if you go back and look at the older videos, they look really funny. It wasn't until like 2 years in when I would speak on the videos, because I was afraid of saying something incredibly dumb while I was shooting the videos, and then the videos that we do on the channel are part of the report that we shoot for the cars, and so each car takes about 45 minutes, sometimes up to an hour to shoot the report. This includes like 80 to 100 pictures, sometimes 120 pictures, also 4 video clips of wheels and tires, cold engine start, interior checking, and the report. If you've bought from us, then you know exactly what it comes with. But I would shoot the reports as like the main thing, the reason why we're doing the videos, and then I would put the videos on as an afterthought. And I felt like if we're making these videos, then the target is the buyer to begin with, and to be focusing on the YouTube is going the wrong direction. Anyways, I think the system right now works pretty well. I think a lot of people especially like having that big catalog of lots of different cars that were bought from Japan, and then you can browse through them. You can take a look and see what kind of cars have what options, what it's like on the interior, what kind of common problems that you see on cars. Elizabeth says, nice hat. I can't remember who it was that gave it to me. It was a present. A present from Chicago. Why don't you bring the Japanese girl to the chat to replace the other guy? Naoko?
Yes.
Are you the Japanese girl?
Sorry, I'm not a Japanese girl anymore.
Naoko's not a Japanese girl anymore, she says. I don't know who you're referring to.
I was before.
Yeah. Naoko, can you bring in a picture from when you were a Japanese girl? We'll show it to the people.
Next time, yes.
We have 3 women working in the office, but on Tuesdays we usually only have 2. That's Naoko and Ayako, and Ayako's not in right now.
Oh.
She's at the doctor.
I can.
Hey Mike, welcome back.
Thank you. I gotta go again in like 10 minutes.
Don't do it! Just, you look so sweaty.
Yeah, it's hot out there. It's hot. It's hot. Wet hair. This is not hair gel. This is personal gel. Hot.
Man, it's so hot out there. I'm personal gelling. Yeah, no, none of the women who are working in the office like to be on the videos, so that's fine. Oh, Mike's here. Hey, Mike, how you doing? There's no such thing as sick days when you own the company. And thank you for giving me the nice wishes for feeling better. I'd like to know, Wormy Worm, how hot is it in Arizona right now? Because right now in Japan, I think we're somewhere around 31 or 32.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people in America don't know what the Celsius means.
Converting.
Let's see. We're 33 degrees. But I don't think 33 degrees in Japan is the same as 33 degrees in Arizona.
No.
Like you can't explain the heat of humidity until you've actually experienced it. It is crazy.
Oh, 113 today. That's hot.
What? In Arizona?
So, I'm not sure. The weekend driver? That's 45 degrees.
That's
But,
crazy. But
yeah,
like
dry
I've
heat.
experienced 40 degrees in my town. It would get there almost every year. It would get to high 30s, and then sometimes at the hottest was in the 40s.
Yeah.
It's incredibly and dangerously hot, but like a 40-degree weather in my city would be more like a 33-degree day here.
Yeah.
And you would go outside and your sweat would evaporate right away, which is a way different feeling than out now. You sweat, but your sweat doesn't go anywhere because there's so much water in the air, it can't take anymore.
Down your body.
Like 33 degrees and 98% humidity is insane because with each temperature increase, it can carry much more water in the air. And so once you get to a certain point, it's like, ugh. You just don't dry off. And then you get home and there's like a layer of salt on your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had that the day I went to the auction last week, right? I rubbed my eye because there was something in my eyelash. The thing with my eyelash was like solidified salt. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it was like bigger than a grain of salt that you shake onto your food, right? I could just like go like this and rub my eyes, and then I could salt my dish.
Salt the steak. Oh.
Pete says he found something neat. 35,180. I'll look that up. I much prefer to have you here, Mike. I need somebody to laugh at my jokes, otherwise it sounds like I'm just being an idiot.
Or those me cicadas. Me. Oh, it looks like Bill Courtney had a motorcycle accident.
Did he?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Broken collarbone.
When did that happen?
Recently.
Wow, Bill, I'm glad that you're okay.
All things
Motorcycle
considered,
accidents
yeah.
are no joke. Even if you're just sitting on a motorcycle and you fall over, that could be very bad.
Yeah.
Motorcycles are heavy, right?
Yeah.
Who was it that sent this one in? Pete Delarco, thank you for sending one of these in. If my buddy Rory is on here, my buddy Flavian is on here, you guys know that Rory just got one of these for his personal car.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very cool. And then everyone was like, so are you going to sell your 600 horsepower Skyline? And he's like, nope, now I got two cars.
Yeah.
I don't know how much power that his Skyline has, but it has passed the point of ridiculousness. It's funny to buy an Evo 2 and for that to be your slower car by a large margin. Adrian, to answer your question, do I prefer the 11 or the Trudeau? When I lived in Canada, I liked the 11 better because it was the specialness of forbidden fruit, because you can't get 11 in Canada, only the Trudeau. Well, technically it's called a Corolla GTS, so it has a different name, but it is more similar to the Trudeau than it is the 11, which doesn't have the pop-up headlights. But now that I have grown up, and I've been living in Japan for just about as long as I've been living in Canada, the Trudeau is better for me because the pop-up headlights are very, very attractive. I like pop-up headlights on anything. I've lost the chat. I'm trying to go through it. I'm trying to get through the chat, Mike, but I can't do it.
There's a lot.
The chat's dumb. You'll be reading something and you go to scroll down and it jumps right down to the very bottom.
Yeah, I've had that problem. I don't like it.
Automotive Talk. That sounds like a new person. Hello, is this where you ask about importing cars? Yes, you may ask anything that you want to me or to Mike. And I will answer any question.
He had a question.
Mike, too, will answer any question.
His question just after that was, what's the coolest K car you can get in America other than the AZ1?
I don't like the AZ1 very much. Although it's cool and unique, it's not a good driving car. And for me, it needs to be a good driving car in order to be of any value. I would say the Cappuccino or the Alto Works. And I prefer the Alto Works over the Cappuccino.
Oh, I want to drive one then.
Yeah, you gotta drive it. It's so fun.
Alto.
Remember that March that we saw?
Yeah.
The one that was like,
Yeah.
it's like that, but like miniaturer. You're gonna like
mini
it.
versions.
Yeah, and you got to get it with the front wheel drive too. The 4-wheel drive's too heavy, I would think.
Oh, Wasabi Kaz is in the chat too.
Oh, it's Daniel O'Grady from Wasabi Cars. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not wearing your shirt that I bought from you with my money, Wasabi Cars. I was wearing it in a video that we recorded recently, though, and you may see it if you watch our videos in the future. Wasabi Cars. And if you're in the chat, go buy a shirt from him. Everybody, go do it. I'm not going to continue on with the stream until everybody goes and buys a shirt. See, you know what? That would be totally not funny if you weren't there laughing.
Yeah.
I would have felt really awkward and stupid having said that. But now I feel good.
You're like, yeah, that was
You know what?
okay.
We need a soundboard with fake laughing.
Oh, like the.
But not
the
like-
crowd. Ha 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 ha.
You know the fake laughing? It'll sound like an audience laughing, right? That's not what we need. We need the like a soundboard that we record like 3 or 4 people in the office laughing,
Yeah.
and then we can play that like 3 or 4 different versions of it. That way, whenever I'm feeling awkward and weird, I can just press the button.
Yeah, that feels better.
What's the best day to view the most vehicles before auction? Wayne Young. Okay, so the biggest auction day is Thursday. Also Friday, Saturday, and Wednesday tend to be pretty big. But if you're looking for a car, or maybe it's a rare car, you're going to want to be checking every day. So most of our buyers will check every day, maybe 5 minutes or so to check for what cars that they can find that day, and then go ahead and bid on those. Oh, Elton's here. Elton, the guy that we have a picture of on the wall. That's cool. He says, "Hey, boys." That goes really well with the picture that we have of him on our wall, doesn't it? Elton, you know which picture we're talking about.
I love it.
Mike says, "Looks like the steering wheel on the right side with this one." Yeah, the Deltas only came with left-handed drive, if that's what you're referring to. There was never a right-hand drive Delta that was made officially. This one, let's have a quick look at this. So to begin with, this one's a navy blue. It's not a particularly rare color, but not particularly common either. Most of these come in red, and then after that there is probably white is the next most popular color. And then there are a bunch of specialty colors, like with only 250 of them made. Candy red, yellow, metallic blue, pearl paint, and then all together they make up a few thousand cars. And so although you pay a little bit extra for the specialty version, they're not really that special for the most part. Some of them are, like the Martini versions or the final edition or Evoluzione. I speak Italian now, apparently. The Evo 2s are worth a little bit more than the Evo 1s, and at auction, depending on the condition, you're looking to spend probably about 3 million to 6 million yen. So that's about 28,000 US dollars to about 55,000 US dollars, depending on the condition. I've seen some of our customers' ones that were in very good condition sell for, I've seen ones at $70,000, and although he's very good at setting up the car, it was only a $30,000 imported car. So there is profit to be made, but they're finicky cars, and you kind of have to know the car really well if you want to profit on these. These wheels on here are bigger than they're supposed to be, but they are the original wheels, but they're kind of not the original wheels. They came with these wheels made by Speedline called Monte Carlo wheels, Corse Monte Carlo. And then these ones are 17, but the Evo 2 came with 16s, and the Evo 1 came with 15s. Aftermarket steering wheel here, aftermarket pedal covers. These are the original seats made by Recaro. They only came in this style for the Evo 2, and the Evo 1s came with either leather or greenish gray suede. And then the door cards always match the seats in the Evo 1 and the Evo 2. And then there's slight differences in the dashboard. This is an aftermarket gauge here, and there's a boost controller over here. This is a 1993, 129,473 kilometers. That's a fair amount for these. They're fairly reliable cars, but they can be expensive when it comes to fixing them. Auxiliary 4, interior and exterior C. The body here has no marks on it and a full repaint. That's going to lower the value for this. AC doesn't work, aftermarket air filter, seat wear, and power windows on the front only. That's stock.
Okay.
Looks like the condition is pretty good, but the repaint worries me. It's something I would prefer to look at in person before buying. But then there's a cost for looking in person. Mike, don't go!
I gotta go. I'm sorry.
I can't breathe out my nose and it's annoying. There are some things that even if you're the boss, you can't get your staff to do for you.
Blow your nose.
Yeah. Oh, I just drank some tea and now my my ears popped.
Yeah.
So I feel better now.
He only bought one car at
Second
a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Price for this. Well, here's the thing with the car having been repainted, it's going to look really good, but the repaint lowers the value, and so it makes it a little bit difficult to pick which way the price will go on this. If it were a car I were buying for myself or one for stock, I probably wouldn't want to bid too high on it. But with brand new paint, it's going to look glossy and it's going to be attractive to people that you're showing the car off to, unless they look for the paint. And so it could really go either way. Whole package wise, I would say you're looking at about 3.5 to 3.8 million. So that's like 32,000 to 35,000 for this one. Starts at 2.4 million. Could be a little bit higher. I haven't bought these in a while. There was a time that we bought like 15 of these per year, which is pretty crazy for such a limited edition car. Well, not that limited. It's just that Japan has all of them. So they used to be really cheap in Japan for export to the other countries, and now they're just expensive everywhere. And we got Logan. Let's see some motorcycles, says Logan. Logan, I'm not sure if you are the most famous person on here, because I don't know if Wasabi Cars has left the chat yet. Motorcycles. Yeah, we don't sell motorcycles, but I can show you motorcycles. Today is Tuesday, which means it's motorcycle auction day. If you want to buy motorcycles, we'll only sell it to you if you want to buy 10 of them, because then it's really worth the time. If it's just one motorcycle, it's really not worth the time. And it's not worth the money for you too, because if we charge you for a single motorcycle, the amount of time it takes for us to export it, which is longer than a car, like we spend more time exporting a motorcycle than we do exporting a car by far. And then with cars, we get to spread, 30 cars out on one trip to the registration office possibly. Whereas with a bike, if it's just one we're going to the registration office to, and we have to go there twice, that's a big pain in the butt, and we can't spread out our costs. So only if we're doing higher volume. Derek, what are the typical inland transportation charges from auction? For example, USS Nagoya. Once you're a registered customer, then you get access to the a spreadsheet of all that information. I'll bring it up here. Whoops. That's not correct. That's correct. And so in our email that we use to email you the translations, it has a link to this at the bottom, so it's always easy to access. And this is all of the auctions that we can buy from, including the cost, direct to port if you want it direct to port, or to our yard and then to the port. So this first cost here, that's like $200 from this auction to send it direct to port, but to send it from the port to us and then to the port, which is our regular way of doing business, $28,700. And in fact, the direct to port, we don't use that for anyone except for dealer customers, because we want our first experience with the customers to be our full experience, which includes our picture and video report. And that's really one of the main reasons why you buy from us, because we're the only exporter that really puts that much effort into all the cars that we export, and we'd like to show you that before we go and do something like a direct to port purchase, which can save you money. So for your second purchase and from then on, we can do direct to port. For your first one, we go to us all the time. And then this price here includes no markup by us. All prices include 600 yen fuel charge, no other markup or PCA profit. This is really key because it's really easy for the bigger exporters to get good volume discounts, which is what we've done, but we pass those on to you instead of pocketing the difference. And really with other exporters, there's no way for you to find out. We have a policy where we don't mark up any of this kind of stuff, and we'll even show you the invoices from the transport company if you want to take a look at those. So our invoice will say 28,100, and we put on $600 fuel surcharge, and the 600 yen fuel surcharge was actually calculated by us. And so what we did is we took all of the transport that we did over the course of last year, and then we divided it by the number of cars, and then the difference was the amount of extra cost for fuel, because some of the cars they would get picked up from us. They wouldn't have enough fuel to get to the port. The transport company would put fuel in and would invoice that to us, and then for us to do that individually for each one of our customers is just too much work. So we took the average, split it up between all of the cars, and so there is that surcharge. Unfortunately, that's really the only way to do it without adding hours of extra time and asking you to pay again for like a possible $10 of fuel to send the money. It's just not worth it. So sometimes there's a sacrifice done in order to keep things as honest as possible. And this is part of the reason why other companies don't do it. They're much happier just making some profit on the transport and then paying for the fuel surcharge with that profit, but still making sure that their profit is more than the actual fuel surcharge that they're going to have to pay. Yeah, the Evo 1, Flavian, has the 215 horsepower, but they also don't have a catalytic converter, which sucks some of your horsepower. And over time, it sucks more and more horsepower as it gets more and more clogged up. So I don't think that you're going to notice much difference in the speed of an Evo 1 compared to an Evo 2. $1987 Quattro Sport in auction. I think you're referring, Elizabeth, to the UR Quattro or the Quattro. And those ones rarely ever come up for auction. That's the shortened wheelbase version of the four-wheel drive Audi. And they're rather expensive. They're not quite the same prices of these yet, but they're moving in the same direction. They continue to get more and more expensive as time goes on. And we forgot, Bill, I'm sorry, to take a look at your 8.6 here, so we'll quickly do that. So it looks like, man, I can't breathe. This is really annoying. Need to stop talking for a second to breathe. This one's a late model version. Has a different interior. There's a rad LED gauge set that you can get in these, but it only came out in the early models, and they tend to be somewhat unreliable in that the LEDs burn out. You have to actually solder new LEDs into the board, but they are very cool. This one, later model, has the late model seats. Oddly, it has the late model driver's seat, and these were, well, they're a very nice seat, but they go bad after about 15 years. And now these cars are 30 years old, and most of them have been swapped over to an aftermarket seat. So to see one with the original seats, even if they are cracked, they tend to crack around here. You can see this one a little bit, but it looks like it's in better condition than most of them that I've seen. It also has the cool lumbar support with an air pump, so it has a little bladder that you can go to pump up air into the back for the lumbar support, and a button to release it. Very cool. Has the original steering wheel here. That's cool. The original wheel on these are one of the best original wheels I've ever felt. They're just so fun to drive, these cars. Have a look at the sheet. So under 100,000 original kilometers is super uncommon for these. Super uncommon. So that's going to be that's going to boost up the price a lot because of that. Many of them are unknown mileage, and then the ones that are known mileage tend to be in the 200,000 plus kilometers. Has a Momo steering wheel, 14-inch wheels. I love the 14-inch wheels. I think that that's a really good pick with the aggressive offset. It kind of looks perfect. It's not too low, it's not too wide. Very good. So condition-wise, steering wheel wear, seat wear, wheels scratched, door mirrors scratched, windshield rock chip, interior dirty and scratched. Front cross member replaced, core support replaced, oil leak, underside surface rust, right front side member one part replaced, AC doesn't work, an aftermarket exhaust, surface rust, corrosion, cracked, and a hole in it. Various scratches and dents, and then looking at the body, we have uneven paint, uneven paint, uneven paint, paint fade, and then a big dent in the roof. Can't see the dent in the roof. Excuse me. So it looks like it probably could use a repaint. It has been repainted already, so giving it another repaint isn't going to damage the value. And it looks like it's a solid car. It's going to be worth a lot. If I were to guess a price, I'd say 1.6 million for this, which would rather be on the high price for these. But good ones are hard to find, and this one looks like a good one. So it's the original engine too, by the looks of it. Phantasma Murillo. Hi everybody. Went this morning to my U.S. Customs office at Texas border because California Customs forgot to stamp me a Form HS. They had declined to do it and told me it's illegal to import a Japanese car. If you went to the Texas Customs, they may really not know about importing, because nobody can send a car to Texas for importing because it has to go to the port of entry first, which would be Long Beach. Oh, it depends on the Texas one. There's Freeport, Texas, but I'm assuming you went to a Texas that's closer to the California border. It sounds to me like there's a mix-up. You should probably hire a customs broker to bring that in. If you've already started the process and the stamp is missing, hiring a customs broker could use their experience and the fact that they're established in the eyes of customs. They'll see that as a lot better than just an individual. It will give less heartaches and headaches, and it's really not that expensive to hire a broker to do this for you. We got a bunch more comments I didn't get to. We got 7 more minutes in the live chat here. Mike will probably be coming back right in time for the end, so maybe you guys can say goodbye to him. I'll go over a couple more questions that we got here. I can't pronounce this name, but AWDALTIMA2 Aldaltima 2 says it takes a lot of honesty to wear Chicago Bulls gear, considering how bad they've been. I don't follow any sports at all, so sorry about that. Are the Cubs doing better? Here. I also got my helmet that I can put on. Maybe that would make a good live stream. It would cover my hair that I tried to cut but accidentally destroyed it. Just joking, I didn't try to cut the hair. Wasabi Car says it's expensive to live in Japan. In my experience, that's not really the case, but then again, maybe Canada's expensive. And then, Daniel, you live in Kyushu, which is probably cheaper than Yokohama, especially in terms of land. Here it's just brutal. It's like $1 million for a plot to build a house in this neighborhood. It's crazy. Especially if you want something that's a reasonable size compared to other countries. Japan has some of the smallest houses in the world. Like our office here is the same size as my house, and it's cramped in here for us to work, even with maximum 5 employees at a time. 54 square meters, so that's like 550 square feet is the apartment that I live in, and we got the 5 of us, myself, my wife, and my 3 kids. It's terrible, and it's not that expensive. We pay like probably about $1,000 a month for it, but there really aren't any big places. Like even if you go up to $3,000 a month, then you're only getting like 1,000, 1,200 square feet. There's really nothing like there is in Canada, where a typical family will live around 2,000 square feet or 2,500. But then again, Canada has big houses. When I came to Japan, we moved here with credit card debt, and it cost us a total of about $3,000 to move here. I was a little bit lucky because we had a place to stay before we could find a place, which is good because when you rent your own place here, it really sucks. You have to give gift money and like deposit. It's like 4 or 5 times your monthly rent for your first month, so it takes a little bit of money to do that. But you don't have to do that. You can go live in like a share house or guest house is what they call it here. I would say you don't need that much money here, but if you have more money, it makes you feel more relaxed. Moving to Japan can be pretty anxiety inducing for some people. And I'm gonna have to close the live stream now because I gotta go bid on a car and Mike's not here, so that's the alarm. You might be able to hear it. Anyways, gonna shut this down now. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back again next week. Bye for now.